Okay, chapter 4, Giddy Up. What we're looking at is demand. The concept is a something you deal with all the time when we go to the store, and I think a lot of this will make sense if you just kind of think through it. So try not to get too overwhelmed by it. Okay, so demand is the desire, ability, and willingness to purchase a product. Okay. Now, let's go through each of these concepts. Now, in order for a store to be able to actually, you know, get money for a product, these three things all must happen, mentally within the person, there must be a desire for that product, a desire to buy, meaning I really want this thing, okay? Then we have to have the ability, meaning I have to have the money on hand or access to the money to purchase it. Okay. And then finally, I need to be willing to actually take the money out of my wallet and hand it over. Now, I know with credit cards, it's a little bit different, but it's the same concept. I have to be willing to hand over the credit card to be willing to take on that loan because that's essentially what a credit card purchase is. And so let's say we have ourselves a cell phone and we've been, reading all the books, talking to all our friends, and we're like, man, I really want that. Yet, all right, something new might be coming out soon, as the way it always is with cell phones. So you've been saving like crazy. The end of your contract for a previous phone is just about up and you're free and clear, and you've saved all the money. You know what I'm saying? So you want it? Check. We have the money? Check. But yet we're just afraid to hand over the money. Why is that? Well, maybe we're afraid that something better will come out. Maybe we're afraid that the price might drop. Maybe we're afraid that the product we have just won't work as good as we want. Maybe, yeah, whatever's holding us back. That's this willingness. And so to finally get over that part, to check and actually hand that money over, that's that's where a salesperson comes in. Salesperson will often, as you're looking at a product and you're sort of, kind of playing with it, you're already showing that desire, and they might have a little bit of talk and yeah, what kind of work do you do, things like that. Again, that they're gauging your ability to pay, and then then from there it's getting to that willingness, and this is a great product. We've got a warranty. If it breaks, we'll fix it. If you're not satisfied, we'll replace it or we'll give you your money back. If the price drops within a certain amount of time, we have a price guarantee. If you see a lower price somewhere else, we'll match it. So there's a lot of things that stores will do to increase your willingness or lower your inhibition, lower the things that keep you from purchasing that product. Okay, so it's real simple. The lower, the less something costs, and the lower the price, the more willing we are going to, the more likely we're going to purchase that product. So just to put that down, we have a law. It has two parts. Now, to use that concept law, we're talking about our groups of people, or group behavior. That's what we're studying here in economics, not individuals. Individuals are always impossible to predict. But if out in the in the mega market we raise the price, people will not purchase as much. And we utilize the term quantity demanded. That's actually a vocabulary term. That's how much is purchased at a particular price. Quantity demanded will drop. Now, if we lower the price, makes sense, we're more willing to purchase it. The quantity demanded. Now, remember those terms, quantity demanded of a product. Again, remember another word for a good is a product. Okay, so It's what we call an inverse relationship. As prices go up, the quantity demanded Q goes down. Okay? So it's inverse relationship. One goes up, the other goes down. The other goes down, the other goes up. Okay? Now we can show that relationship on a schedule. So when you see this sort of graph that looks like this, the the title of that graph is called the demand schedule. So on that we have price, we have quantity demanded. There are only two variables being discussed, and it's showing the relationship between those two variables. As I raise the price, the quantity demanded goes down. Okay, so you've seen this. You go to a movie theater and hot dogs are super expensive, and there's just something about at going to a movie theater or a baseball park, people will spend really big money for a product, and so companies will have to choose, what price do we set, because that is going to affect their quantity demanded. Now notice, I mean, look at this, so if they set the price at one, they're going to earn a total of $10, right? Okay. If they set the price at two, we're going to earn a total of $10. If we're going to set the price at three, we're going to earn the total of $9. If we set the price at four, we're going to earn a total of $8. Now, which is better? Well, some people will say, well, hey, it's always better to sell more, so set the price at $1 and you'll sell more. But think about it. It takes less effort. It costs you less. You're going to have to pay for each hot dog and bun and all the ketchup and mustard and all the goo stuff, that you put on there. It would be much better to get the same amount at lower production costs. So this would be a much more effective pricing strategy for that business. Now, we can take this information from the demand schedule and we can put it on a graph. So on one side, we have price, okay, and on the other side, we have quantity demanded. And so you can see this at a higher price, $4. You can see it's at we're gonna sell two, okay, at $1. Okay, we're going to sell 10. And so we see it's downward sloping. The demand curve, the demand curve is downward sloping. Can't talk today. So that's where we sometimes use the phrase down with demand. Down with demand. Now, some people don't like the man, you say demand, down with demand. Okay, so maybe that's a little mnemonic to help you remember it. Okay, down with demand. That curve is always downward sloping when you look at it. Now, when we change the price, you're going to move along the curve. Movement along the curve. So as we lower the price, notice we have price point 1. We're selling a certain amount, quantity demanded. In this case, it's backpacks. If we lower the price from price point 1 to price point 2, which is a lower amount, we can just look at our curve and we can see that we're now selling more backpacks at that lower price. And that's how it is with all products. That's why they have the cheap rack at the back of the clothes store. It's that stuff that maybe people didn't like it as much. Maybe it just didn't quite fit the fashions. Maybe it was cut kind of funny or had some weird colors or whatever. It could be the sizes that are left are the sizes that, there's just less people that wear that particular size. So that's sometimes when you go to the cheap rack, they might not have your size or they might not have something that you like there. Well, those are the things that are left over. Well, how did they get rid of things on the cheap rack? Well, they lower the price. Now, at some point, they might take all of those products, bundle them all together, and ship them to one central location. So multiple stores will send all their leftover stuff to one store, and they'll pool it all together. And sometimes that gives people greater choices in terms of sizes and things like that. So that's where we get the term outlet store. It's just a place for all those things to go. And essentially, it's the same thing. They're lowering the price to get rid of the product. And if they don't sell, they might then ship it to a store like Big Lots or whatever, or a thrift store. They'll sell it to them in bulk or a dollar store, and they'll sell it at a much lower price. And that is demand. Thank you for chapter 4, section 1.